Hello, everyone, and welcome to Snap Take. This is Glazer of Snap Judge, the official podcast of Marvel Snap Zone, and we are now in the Doom 2099 meta. We'll be examining what exactly that means as we go through this whole video, but we're going to cover 5 decks, including 2 Doom 2099 decks, and talk about what the meta is and go over a bunch of top players' thoughts on the brand new card to take over Marvel Snap. We're going to begin today with a counter deck because I know not everyone is going to be able to get Doom 2099 given the way Marvel's card acquisition works, and this type of deck is absolutely excellent at making sure that Doom 2099 loses. Some versions run Killmonger, but most do not. If there's no Killmonger in that deck, then this absolutely wrecks it. If they don't run Killmonger and hit Luke Cage, then you just straight up dominate this matchup, being able to absolutely put up enough power to compete, while US Agent, Debris, Green Goblin, and Cannibal win you the game. You can find the creator of this list, KX4N, at twitch.tv/KX4N, playing honestly, genuinely great decks really, really consistently. He's a top-notch player. You should 100% check out. This deck needs Cannibal, Kate, and US Agent. All three of those are absolute requirements for this list. Kate is very important because Acid Arrow is such a key piece, and you don't otherwise have very much to do on two. US Agent and Cannibal are how you beat Doom. Thena can be Angela. If you don't have Thena, you'll be perfectly fine just playing Angela in that spot. If you don't have Red Guardian, you're stuck running Rogue, which is worse, but you'll be fine. And Copycat can be Sage, Juggernaut, or Enchantress. This has a 60+% win rate, and it absolutely farms Doom 2099. Doom is a very strong card, but it is a card with very clear counters, so it's going to be very hard to ignore the existence of Doom 2099. It's too big, it's too popular. What you can do is you can either choose to play versions of Doom 2099 that take advantage of the meta of other Doom 2099 decks, or you can play decks that counter it and beat it. So that's what this is. This is a deck that absolutely farms it. Turn 1 is Hood or Kitty. Turn 2, Kate over Thena. Turn 3 is Thena +1 or Debris or Goblin, and Debris against a Doom deck is a snap condition. Turn 4 is 3+1. You can send over a Hood or a Rock with your Viper if you can at this point. Turn 5 is 3+2, and that 3 is usually a Claw card. That would be the second of your Debris or Goblin, along with US Agent. A lane that they already have a bunch of big stuff in is a really great US Agent target. And then you end the game with a Cannonball and a 1, and then Cannonball wins you the damn game. Cannonball and Demon, Cannonball and Kitty, whatever, you win the game by just dominating that way. This list is freaking crazy strong. I cannot urge you to play it enough into the meta right now if you have access to it. After we take one last look at this, we're going to talk about a dominating 2099 deck. But first, this is Garrett's Friends Bot Farmer. The bots in this case are not actually bots on your way to infinite, they are Doom bots. Before we get to that next deck, I'm going to ask you to hit that sub button. We are only a few uh, subs away from hitting our goal of 16,000 for 2024. So please hit that sub button. We'll give you 7 days a week of Marvel Snap videos. Very often we release something like 8 or 9 videos in a week covering multiple decks. We give you at least 3 brand new decks every day. Hit that sub button, and your sub also enters you to win a season pass of Galacta. We're giving away a Galacta this week. All you have to do is sub and like, and then leave a comment. I'll tell you what that comment is later this video. That comment will enter you to win Galacta. It's our way of giving back to the Snap community. Next week, we're giving away another Galactic. The week after that, we're giving away 5 of Iron Patriots. Our list for Doom 2099 is created by the great Eeka. Eeka's Doom list, he played a whole bunch. He played this one the most because this one ended up being the most successful. Fundamentally, if you are going to try and win the Doom 2099 mirror game, you need to be playing the greedy version. And that's exactly what this is. This is the greedy version. The version that says, I'm going to fill everything with bots, or I'm going to go over the top with the Infinite. I'm going to play Goliath and stop my opponent's Doom. There's a million ways to do it, but this list absolutely rocks face. It is very, very strong and very consistent. Just going Electro into Blink or Psylocke into Blink gives you extra optionality. It gives you a hit on Doom, a hit on Jubilee. You can hit War Machine, and then you're dropping Infinauts on their big lanes, but not Infinite big. And then you just have so many ways to really compete. This list is a thing of beauty. I cannot urge you to try it enough. You can find Eeka streaming this and many more lists. Eeka is one of the most creative and prolific deck builders in all of Marvel Snap at twitch.tv/Eeka_MTS. You only need 2 high series cards here for this list. You need Doom 2099 and War Machine. If you don't have Jeff, Zabu, Penny, or Wave are all fine replacements. Blink can be Legion or Vision. Blink is very important here, though. Blink is hard to replace. And Goliath is good, but so is Magneto. Magneto gives you a little bit of extra clog for this matchup. Ika played 70 games in the top 100, top 200 in that general area with this list, and was a 60% win rate. I played a bunch. Just so you know, if you checked yesterday's video, I had a safety blade deck that I played on stream, and I had a high 60% win rate, and I'm ranked around 150. So these lists are working at high infinite. These are legitimate lists. So turn one, you basically pass. You can play Maw if you have either War Machine that you're guaranteed to play. I guess if you have War Machine, you can play it, or if you already have Doom 2099 and you know what you're going to be doing. Turn two, Psylocke if Doom or War Machine, or you can play Jubilee. But you don't always want a Jubilee on three, but like read your hand, see what you have. If you have all your big stuff in deck, you'll Jube on three. And if you don't have any of that stuff, you can Jeff. Turn three, Electro. Obviously, if you can play Doom 2099 or War Machine, you do that. If not, Electro or Psylocke, and you only Psylocke here, generally speaking, if you can blink that away on the next turn. Turn 4 is Doom 2099 over Jubilee over War Machine. Turn 5 is when you usually drop that War Machine. You can also drop Jubilee or a 6. If you didn't get Doom 2099 and you played, let's say, Jubilee and got a decent sized thing, you can play War Machine still on 5. If you manage to get that Electro out, now you've got a extra Ebony Maw to play on the last turn of the game for a 1/7. So turn 6 is Doom, Infinite, or Odin, and you just have to read the board to decide that. If on turn 5, sometimes you will get um, Electro into Doom 2099 into Doom, and then you can just Odin that Doom on turn 6. That works as well. Odin's not terribly important here, but it is nice for certain combinations just as a really mean card. Cool. So we're going to look at another Doom deck shortly. This is, again, the Doom deck that I think is best situated for the mirrors, at least outside of those running whatchamacallit, what's the name of that stupid card? Super Skrull. Super Skrull's all over the place right now. Super Skrull can beat this, but you can generally just outpower it. Infinite and Goliath and so on do not give a shit about Super Skrull, so you can just sort of go over the top of those lists. This is a ton of power. We're going to take a break and look at a version of the Cook teched for the current meta, and then we're going to come back and look at another Doom 2099 list. But first, let's ask that season pass question. If you want to win the free Galacta, you answer in the comments either later today or it's out by the time you're watching this. There is a Superman trailer for the new James Gunn Superman movie. What's your level of hype? If you haven't watched it, how hyped are you to watch it? If you have watched it, how do you feel about it? How are you feeling about it? Also, if you're interested, I stream usually 3 or 4 days a week on twitch.tv/pulseglazer. I streamed yesterday. You can go check out that VOD if you want. I'm probably not going to have time to stream today. Got to record the podcast. And on top of recording the podcast, taking my son and his best friend to go see Sonic 3 a day early. So I might not have time to stream. I'm going to try to stream today, but I'm definitely going to get a stream in on Friday. So make sure that you check out twitch.tv/pulseglazer before we get there so that you're not left out as we do so. Let's keep it going. We've got an artist spotlight, which is a gold bundle. This is the Brett Bean, and if you listen to these videos, then you should not be buying this because you should have used the 3,500 gold on the bundle that happened a few weeks ago. Now, this Devil Dino and Beast bundle is fine. 4 stars is good. 4 stars is very good. Does this compare to the previous gold bundle? No. Does this compare to Datamine gold bundles? No. But as far as gold goes, this is giving you a very good deal. If you have something to immediately use those 3,000 collector's tokens on, i.e. you're looking for Doom 2099 or Hydra Bob, and you have the gold and not another way to do it, then this is a very good bundle. But outside of that, this is very likely something I would urge you to skip. Next up, we have Abra. Abra has been playing the Cook. Abra is one of the best players in Marvel Snap. He was number 3 on the Infinite Leaderboard in the previous season. He doesn't play quite enough to be that high anymore, but he absolutely has been dominating with this version of the Cook. That puts up enough power to really, really compete with absolutely anything. He was running Shadow King prior. It's important to note. Prior to the Doom 2099 resurgence, if you have Red Guardian, it might want to be that. Or you can go back to running Super Skrull because some of these decks are running Iron Man and nonsense like that. So this deck needs exactly 3 high series cards. You need Sasquatch, Mockingbird, and Gwenpool. You'll note that Galacta is here. Galacta is significantly less important than Gwenpool for the list. If you don't have Hope, the only thing you can replace with, unfortunately, is yet another high series card in Luna Snow. Galacta can be Super Skrull or Gladiator. Copycat can be Red Guardian, Gladiator, or a good 3 on curve. Remember, you're not looking for Sage, you're looking for a 3 you want to play on 3 and Nocturne type card. Turn, Hydra Bob can be Iceman. Iceman's really good right now. A lot of the Doom decks are really, really trying to curve out, and messing that up gives you a way to win. And if you don't have Kate Bishop, hopefully you do have Galacta, because then Mr. Sinister is stellar. All right, so this is again Abra's updated cook. Barzy and Derek created the original cook that all of these have been based on. So turn 1, you want Kitty or Bob. Turn 2, Kate or Mysterio. If Sasquatch, you want to play Kate. Usually Mysterio is if you have Sasquatch in hand. Feel free to just go Sasquatch on 3, it's fine. Turn 3, Hope or Sasquatch. Turn 4, Galacta or Gwenpool. If you still have Mysterio in hand, Gwenpool on Hope is the goal. So then you can play Mysterio, arrows, and everything else you can on turn 5. If not, you can Sasquatch or Mockingbird. And then turn 6 is Mockingbird, Sasquatch, and whatever else you can, Shadow King, Juggernaut, etc. Cool. Let's take one last look at this. Again, if you just want to put up crazy power, right, and say, I'm not dealing with your bullshit, this is the deck for you. It does absolutely that. Gwenpool plus Mysterio is often as much power as even an amplified Doctor Doom. You'll love to see it. This deck puts out a ton of power. Play it. You'll love it. You'll succeed. Top player thoughts on Doom 2099. These are all top 100-ish players who have given me their immediate Doom 2099 thoughts. So first we've got Abra. Abra says it's overhyped, boring, and strong, but not broken. So Sherry Injury says very strong, but the deck dies without Doom on turn 4, which I think is a really notable thing. You need Doom. 3 is great, right? But you need Doom by turn 4, or the deck really, really does struggle, or at least most versions of it do. So this is a deck that has really cleared patterns. Space, it says this is good for newer player. Oh, sorry, excuse me. I skipped Ekmati. Ekmati says it's the most obvious meta card since Toxin, and it's moronic. That means that, like, once it's created, you know what deck it goes in. It's a meta deck. We know exactly where it is. You can just put it in a deck and be good to go. Space says it's good for newer players, but worse against higher rank. That was not my experience. Safety says, I hate it. It's going to ruin the game. Safety's version, again, is the one that had a high 60% win rate in top 200, so I'm inclined to listen here. Safety is ranked around 20 right now. W says it's a strong card, might be strong enough to be worth it in the decks it wants, which is notable. Doom 2099 is an archetype unto himself, at least mostly, and thus, if you're going to play it, you want to make sure that those decks are strong enough to compete. Roram says this is insane in Scream Doom, and it's a nerf candidate, and I think that's a notable thing. There is a version of the Scream deck that just throws Doom in there, basically. It throws both Dooms in there and says, well, I've got the Scream combo, and I've got the Doom combo, and I've got 2 ways to really, really win. Can Best has that version if you want to check it out. We'll feature that in tomorrow's video, almost certainly. But it is worth noting that this might just be a package card. The more we build with it, we'll see. Spiro notes that it's week 1, and given that it's week 1, it's really, really hard to evaluate what this is doing, what this is going to be. Sorry, I got a weird sound on my headphones. Everyone's playing either this deck or counters, and that really changes the way we need to look at it and the way we have to think about it, at least for the week. That it's doing so well in this environment suggests to me it's very good. Toxic Soul King notes that this is boring gameplay, perfect for low CL players. Yeah, if you're a low CL player and you have Dr. Doom, you can absolutely play this as a deck that could get you to infinite, that can compete at high infinite. Jet says, I love it. Monkey Brain, 1 card per turn. Jet has a Phoenix Force list that I need to get for him from tomorrow. A Phoenix Force Doom 2099 just seems bonkers. We've seen negative Doom 2099. We've seen Scream Doom 2099. We're also going to look at Phoenix Force 2099 because all of these different combos say, if I don't see Doom, now I have another way to compete, which just seems really, really bright, really powerful. Johnson says it's the best card for light players, light being casual, light being people don't play a lot. The archetype is passive with a lot of drawbacks, though. So this isn't original life. It's not broken and it's beatable, but it is very good. Butt says strong, but boring as hell. Yup. Dickens says good, but not insurmountable. Mid-range will adjust. There are ways for mid-range decks to play cards that can beat this. So Dickens waits for that to happen. Eekas says this is the new baseline power for the meta, but not unbeatable. And Splat says strong, but one note and boring. And I want to go back to what Eekas said quickly. Baseline power for the meta, but not unbeatable. I think that's exactly where this card lands. This is the new mid-range deck. Until mid-range adjusts and finds ways to beat this, this is the deck that you have to go, I am tall enough to beat. I can get big enough to beat this list and play. Cool. If you cannot get taller than a Doom 2099 deck on a regular, then the deck sort of has to go or run hard counters. So that's where we're going to be for the meta for the foreseeable future. This is the meta now. Cool. All right. Super Tech God. This is STG, our friend Ken's deck. Uh, don't forget, if you're in the New York area, Ken and I will be in Brookland. Type in Brook, like LAN. It's a LAN party where we're hosting a tournament this Sunday. So make sure you join us there in Brooklyn. I'll do a much more official announcement for that tomorrow, but I am hyped. It's going to be an absolutely amazing time. And Super Tech God created this really cool sort of all-in list for Doom 2099 that's able to go over the top of other Doom lists. This is like a mirror beater. You have magic to get the extra Dooms out. You have Onslaught to make yours bigger with Super Scroll, and Rogue to steal their best shit. So you can just sort of go off completely with this list. You can even hide some of that stuff. You can hide like your Super Scroll and Onslaught behind Invisible Woman in order to take advantage of it and get extra cubes. This is brilliant. Props to Tech God for this really cool idea. And look, a Tech God on this channel that's not a War Machine Infinite list. Will wonders never cease? You can find Super Tech God at twitch.tv/, you guessed it, Super Tech God. This deck needs only Zabu and Tomb 2099. If you don't have Iron Lad, you run Jubilee. Again, these decks are remarkably cheap. If you're a Series 3 player, you can play these more or less right away. All right, so turn 1, you want Zabu. Turn 2, Psylocke for Doom, Lad, or Skrull are better than Invisible. Turn 3, you could play a 4 if you want, if not Magic or Electro. Turn 4, and now you really want Doom, right? Over Blue Marvel. Turn 5, Onslaught or Doom or Blue Marvel. You can drop that Onslaught early because of Electro, feel free. You can drop that Doom early, feel free. Generally speaking, I'd rather drop the Onslaught than the Doom, but it can go either way. Turn 6 is the same concept as 5, and then turn 7 is the same concept. You're just playing one big card. This is about as simple as it gets in terms of playing it. Just pay attention to your locations. Realize that you can get clogged if Doom plays something in the wrong spot. Cool. This is Super Tech God and his version of Doom 2099 that I think is absolutely stellar, super straightforward, and ridiculously cheap. Play this, you're going to win cubes. If you're trying to hit infinite, this is one of the best ways to go. Also, please note that really easy surfer list I featured in Sunday's video, I believe it was Sunday's video, has now cracked the top 10 of the infinite leaderboard. So I'm just saying, like, we got a lot of varied decks in the meta that we can do things with if you're interested in playing them. If you'd like to see gameplay for all these decks, I won't be streaming tonight, so please do check out the stream team. It is Thursday, so at noon Eastern, the King of Canada will be streaming. Meanwhile, GamingwithFlashX will have a video up later on of yesterday's decks. All right. Mateo is one of the Snap Judgments Alliance Snap Legends members. We have a competitive alliance. Mateo is one of the players in it. He's ranked around the top 20, and this is the deck he has most recently been playing to be in the top 20. This deck is sort of the sort of mid-range we need in order to really take out the meta. Be forewarned though, Shang-Chi might want to change now. Shang might want to be Enchantress for the current meta, and you might want to consider running a US agent, but it's really hard to find space for that in this list. This is, however, just enough power to straight up rock shit. Gore is big enough to win whatever lane. Alliance stops their Doom and is like 12 power with Wiccan Galacta. Captain Marvel says, "Oh, that's the lane that their bots haven't gone to. I got that." There's a ton of ways to win with this. You can find Mateo at twitter.com/Mateo_snap. This is again one of the very best players in Marvel Snap, top 20 player, and I think this is one of the very best decks. A lot of people have been asking me lately for Gore decks. This is where you go. You need Zabu, Galacta, and Wiccan is the only high series cards you really must have here. Hydra Bob can be Iceman or Kitty Pryde. We've discussed the power of Iceman in messing things that curve out of, and Kitty's just good extra power, helps you fill your curve for Wiccan decks. Agony is there for Penny. If you don't have either of them, you just make it Iceman, Kitty, and Angela, and you'll be fine. Angela's more power anyway, but you do lose the ramp ability of Penny. Kate is the single hardest card here to replace. It probably has to be a 3 like Copycat or Agent Coulson. If you don't have it, sorry, I wish it wasn't, but that's where you gotta go. 6, Gore or Alioth can be Magneto and Red Hulk. You want them to be Gore and Alioth, but they're not required. You're just running the best 6s in the game that you have access to. So turn 1 is Zabu. If the 4s are in deck, you have Agony of Penny, and there's a 4 in hand, or you can drop Bob. Generally speaking, I would rather play Agony or Zebu and hold Bob, but it goes both ways. Penny on Agony is fine, or you can drop Psylocke for a 4, or you can play Kate if you need the ones. You can also just drop a cold Penny here if you played a 1-drop, even if it was Bob, and then that's going to curve you into Wiccan. Turn 3, you really want Wiccan or Galacta. Those are your snap conditions of turn 3 Wiccan or Galacta, generally speaking, over 2+1 or Spider. 4 is the same thing as 3. If you played Galacta on 3 and you didn't see Wiccan, you have Captain Marvel, feel free to drop a Captain Marvel. Turn 5, Galacta, Wiccan, Shang, Marvel, or a 6. You're still playing 4s here, unless you have access to an Alliance that you think is going to help you in the game, or you just want to get that Gore out. And please note, the Kate arrows are often very, very, very good with Gore. And then turn 6 is a 6 or Shang plus. And again, maybe for the next week or so, you want that Shang to be Enchantress. Pick your poison here. This is one of the very best decks in the game. Wiccan has been meta for quite a while. Wiccan is an absolutely incredible card. Galacta has been meta for a while. She is an absolutely incredible card. Gore is huge. Alliance is the best 6. This is fundamentally a ton of the best 6s, a ton of the best cards, and ways to ramp into them. Questions of the day, and then we almost done with this video. So our first question, Racco asks why Doom 29 works with Doom, but Mjolnir only works with the Odin Son, not Jane Foster. And that's because they probably just thought of this interaction, and now they're doing it for Doom and Captain America. I hope they go back and add it to Jane Foster. That would be absolutely amazing if they made Mjolnir work for both Odin Son Thor and Jane Foster Thor. It should, and that would be absolutely huge. I will suggest it in the game internally, but it is sorry to the developers in the creator program. I don't know if they're going to listen. It seems like it's an unlikely thing for them to do given the engineering take it would be, but like I think it would be very cool and very fitting if Thor, Doom, and soon Captain America all had that functionality. Drosity wants to know why I want to retire to Columbia, so I'm planning, for anyone who's not aware, to retire to Columbia. I can build a house there for relatively cheap. I'm not rich, I'm a teacher, right? I make decent money. I'm not making the best money in my life thanks to content creation on top of teaching, but I would like to retire to Columbia. I can live in the mountains in a beautiful valley with my wife, with a big enough house for friends and family to visit whenever they want, a pool. I can stream all day down there. Like everything just seems perfect and idyllic without having to worry about like honestly the extra money and finances that America would cost me at that point in my life. I don't think I could afford to build a house of that quality in here. So that's why I want to retire to Columbia. I can like just build and live the way I would like to without the finances really getting in the way. Also, a quick reminder for anyone in the middle of Series 3, over on our Discord, we build decks for you. So please make sure to go check out the Discord. There's a specific tab. It's like Glazer Build Series 3. It'll show you what to do. You put your collection in there. Over the next few days, it could be a week, give me time, I will build a like 4 to 6 decks that are that use your personal collection and then make suggestions over what cards to open for, what to go get. Cool. So if that sounds good to you, please make sure you check out our Discord. It's a completely free service just trying to help people enjoy Marvel Snap. Certain tiers of support on our Patreon come with honor. Thanks, and I'm going to go relatively quickly, but if you would like to check out our Patreon, it would mean a lot to me. Please do so. Patreon.com/snapjudgments. The $2 tier, our lowest tier, gets you access to all of our exclusive tournaments. I'd like to say thank you to Abigail Giesland, Mandatory Burnout, Irregardless, David G. Wingfield, Dirty Casual, Danton, LAB, FaThorNewman, Good Dog Gamer, Inc., I Am Frostman, Jean Neville, Thinking Poker, Primed Ryan, Ryan Burke, Ryan Wood, Caretix Lee, Koire, Kazushi, thanks for hanging out earlier, Kazushi, Archangel 3K, Black Dahlia, Pyrofroze, The Goat Seeker, Hallowed, Quid Pro Joe, Snap Decisions Joe. Also, we'll be recording Snap Decisions live on Monday on my Twitch if you're interested. Fat Nick, Mr. Kerfuffle, Cables, Ginger Prime, Philip Rakovich, Haplo, Kenny Loggins of the Danger Zone, Rob Silverman, The Bizza, Black Jeebus 23, Exorcy, and Skippy G, Jessica Gamble, winner of Snap Judgments League Season 1, Tommy Nyquist, The King of Bros, Brup, The Great Kazoo, Kevsey Hoda, Lerner Chris, Corwin, John Q, and Jimmy McQ, Cube Town Clam, Colonel Forbin, Yes Out, 8th Sage, Mod Supreme Models, The Green Goblin, Unibot, Flan56, Steven, Brian Kaufman, Tristan H. Martin, Jason B., Real Name Town, J.D. McDonaldinho, The Fuzzy Dunlop, Spectrumix, Hoot, Matt H, DJ, Mikey Hijinks, No Frickin' Flex, Ocularis, Mr. Craig Sterry, BG, Zodrex, the King of Canada, Den, Man, Falcon, Jonesy, Two Ties, the Great LordEz, the Pirate King Tuccrr, and of course Gunny T, where the T stands for. You can sub by clicking that at the middle. On the left, you'll find yesterday's awesome Doom 2099 videos. On the right, a badass podcast. Hopefully you enjoy, and we'll see you tomorrow for yet more Snap Take, because we never miss a day. Peace.